Blog number 56, Rediscovering What I Already Knew. I officially began my infamous life with spinal cerebellar ataxia just a little over 13 years ago. It was back in 2003 when I first received the news, and a span of 13 years may or may not seem as if it were a long time ago. It all depends on how you look at it, I suppose. But the point is that during the 38 years leading up to the diagnosis, I had been blissfully and totally unaware of exactly just what ataxia was and what it would eventually look like in my life. I wish that I could say I picked up on a huge stockpile of knowledge ever since that day, but the truth is that there really isn't a lot. And my secret has become a reality where I have become pretty good at faking it. Oh, but not everything has become smoke and mirrors. Oh no, not everything. For example, I know now that not in every circumstance is muscle memory a good thing. The instant reflexes that I had possessed when I was younger, which had allowed me to snatch an item I had dropped out of the air before it hit the ground, well, they are presently, more often than not, leading me to various injuries. Self-inflicted wounds, such as eye gouging and stomach punching, just to name a few. I am sure you'll be able to imagine the others. But if further explanation is needed, just picture something falling towards the ground that is somewhere in the vicinity between my waist and my knees, and now picture me haphazardly throwing an open or a closed hand at rather high velocity towards that object. Sometimes I catch it, and sometimes I don't. Well, enough said. I know now that food packaging, which claims to be easy seal, is lying. It is most definitely not truth in advertising. Well, at least for me it isn't. I will waste somewhere between 2 minutes and an entire month just trying to get the two sides of the bag to line up and interlock, mesh, grab a hold of each other and form a bond to do something, anything that will resemble that the two so-called self-sealing sides are working together as a team. Sometimes I seriously have to wonder if herding 100 feral cats in a straight line while being engaged in the heated potato sack race would be a whole lot easier. And no sooner do I think that I've got the bag to successfully seal and I have taken that first step towards the freezer to put it away, when the bag will open right up and spill half the contents onto the floor, like it was really designed in the first place to empty its contents onto the dirty floor at the very earliest convenience. Seriously, it's like having a 10-pound of paratroopers instead of chicken nuggets that can't wait to make their first dive whenever they see the bag open. I am not making this up, as this little scenario has happened to me twice, exactly as I've described it, just within the last several days. I also know that attempting to follow the very first instructions that my brain, in all its wisdom, sends out to me doesn't always work out well. My brain is still stubbornly looking at all the normal tasks and general problems that I encounter on a daily basis as obstacles that will be easily dealt with. A lot of the time, I find that my mind is still deceitfully living in the past and giving me bad advice, telling me that I don't need to think about it first, but I just should do it. That if I drop something, I should instantly bend over and retrieve it. That if I feel like breaking into a leisurely skip, jog, or interpretive dance, or possibly engage in an eating frenzy without choking myself first into a coma, that it'll be okay and work out totally perfectly fine, that I should just dive right in and go for it. I have learned, though, through extensive field testing, that this is very unreliable intel. I also know that the first paper towel that I try to pull out of the dispenser in a public restroom will always rip, and that by the time I am done drying my hands, that the bathroom floor will be covered with pieces and little shards of paper towel. Through exhaustive trials, I know that nothing will be accomplished after the first try, like tying my shoes or getting the cap to go back onto the toothpaste. Yeah, I've been known to brush my teeth once in a while. I know that closing my eyes and attempting to take more than one step towards the shower to rinse my hair out has the potential of becoming a life-altering event. I know that no matter how slow or careful I move, I will always spill water out of an open cup while I'm walking. I know that laughter is the best medicine, and it's the best way for me to strike back at my ataxia. And I know that I don't plan to stop anytime soon. Overall, I know that ataxia is adding a little bit of a warped element to my life. Actually, now that I've really thought about it, I knew more than I realized I did. I guess maybe I just needed to rediscover what I already knew.